It's important to do a little introduction. Yes, so we are going to read and explain this book, Think and Grow Rich, which both of us are so passionate about. And we will meet every time and speak about one chapter and bring the best of each chapter so you can also see the power of this book. What would you say, Paul?
What you said. I found it was very, very interesting that both of us, when we first met, how
Mhm.
huge this book was to our development, how many times we've each read it, how what a high regard we hold the book in. And I thought the idea of really having almost like a mini book club about the book and breaking it down chapter by chapter would be beneficial, not just for us, but for anybody who's interested in growing. I think it's one of those books that 10 different people can read it and 10 different people can have 10 wildly different impacts. And in that sense, the book's almost divine. And it really, really brings out a lot in people that I find fascinating.
Yes, and also the most is important that we will implement, we will set a goal, and when we go through this book again from the very introduction to the last chapter, we will implement. Yes, so we also want you to set a big goal. All people who listening to us set a big goal, not just ordinary goal, but the really big goal that you have no idea how to get that. Yes, you didn't experience this before. It is so big for you that it scares you from one side and inspires you from another side. This big goal, and let's see how we can all achieve our big goals by implementing the knowledge, yeah, the secrets from this book. Because if you believe it, if you do it, if you practice this every day, what we will learn and what we will discuss, you can achieve every big goal you just can think about. Yeah, because if it comes to your mind, if you can see it in your mind, it means that you can hold it in your hand. This is just a matter of how you implement the knowledge, because this book already helped millions of people achieve their biggest dreams. Yes, and today introduction we will speak about Barnes, how he achieved his big goal.
Napoleon Hill wrote this book, first published in 1937. I'm old, but that was a long time before I was born. I can't, imagine how something written such a long time ago when things were so different is still relevant today. And they've updated it. Some of the language has been changed and some of the things have been changed. But the book, the core message of the book, like you said, it's whatever you think can happen. There just has to be that desire. We're talking about the introduction. Uh, most of the most of the editions have a short preface, but it's really based on Andrew Carnegie's influence. This was probably the most influential person in his time. It was really a focus on his philosophy of achievement, and the purpose was to help readers understand and apply principles of success. And what's great is you can success could be a lot of money, success could be relationships, success could be a bunch of things, but if you apply the principles of success, I want to say that the practical nature of the philosophy, it just works. But you have to do it. You have to read it. You have to study it. The, when I see people that have a copy of this book and it's all dog-eared and highlighted and written in and it has notes and it's kind of wrinkled and folded and creased, that means they get it. And that's the book is really alive. The preface also has a little cliffhanger that teases that there's going to be a secret revealed, but doesn't tell you what the secret is. It never tells you what the secret is, but it's going to be revealed. And it's it's pretty a clever way to generate curiosity, I guess, and kind of encourage the reader to go deeper. But I think that preface is important because it establishes the credibility and it gives you that little teaser of what's inside this book and how valuable it is.
Yeah, so don't miss even one session because it builds one upon another one. And Just the most important thing, implement. Yeah, because we are conditioned to get information and just collect information. Yes, it is how our education system is built, just how children get grant because they remember things, they repeat things, and this is how they get their grades. Yes, but if we really want to be successful, the most important part is implement. Every day we will discuss important things which should be a part of our daily habit, daily routine, the way how we think. So implement this, and this is the way how you will achieve your any big goal.
Exactly. The introduction, one of the biggest concepts, and it sticks throughout the book, is that, like you said, thoughts are things. And when you combine thoughts with purpose and desire, thoughts are transformed into material things. The best analogy is I was a marginal student. I was an underperformer sometimes in my youth, and you would get to where it was time for report cards or the marks or the grades, and I was going to have a bad grade unless I made this incredibly amazing, awesome grade on the midterm or the final. And I made it because I was properly motivated. I didn't want to fail the class. I didn't want to get punished by my parents. I didn't want to not be allowed to go out or play sports or whatever was linked to that grade. So the motivation, the key is once you figure out the motivation and you link it to your thoughts, the things that come from those thoughts are real things. And that's he talks about the fact that thoughts are things. And when you have a burning desire, when you have a faith and belief, you can do little tricks like auto suggestion and get really specific with knowledge. But he talks about imagination, he talks about planning, making decision, being persistent. And it can't be said enough how powerful masterminds are. Like this conversation right here, when you and I talk about things, you say something that is new to me and I say something that's new to you, and we both benefit from it. But he gets really deep, not just the mastermind. He talks about sex transmutation. He talks about the subconscious mind, gets into the brain uh, and the sixth sense. But I think this introduction is important, Elena, because it lays the foundation for the entire book. And those core principles are all in the introduction. So if you only had time to read one thing, I wouldn't say read a summary, read the introduction. The introduction
Mhm.
has everything in it. It just, the chapters that follow go deeper and deeper and have more information. But it's a roadmap, and I personally find it motivating. It's why it's the introduction. It's why it's first. You don't want motivation at the end. You want motivation at the onset.
Mhm. Yes. So let's start from introduction and describe the Barnes' desire. Yes, like how he really achieved something that he wanted to do, and initially he had nothing even that could show him the way that it is possible. Yes, like everything was against him. So let's speak about this story. Yes, so we get people know about Barn and what his goal was, and how he stepped out of his comfort zone and just believed in himself, had faith, and how he achieved that.
He realized the importance of having that burning desire, right? I mean, and the desire is the foundation for creating actionable steps. It's the difference between having a goal and having a wish. I wish something would happen to me. And that kind of implies that everything that happens is based on your environment. It comes from the outside when it really comes from within. But if your situation is based on the environment or is based on other people, well, then you're not in control. You're simply either a victim or a beneficiary of someone else's effort. And what he's laying in the burning desire is that you have to have one of these. And we all have it. It's just you have to find it. And I think that, I mean, not only is it important it can be cultivated, it can be strengthened. It's like studying or exercising. It needs to be uncovered. The book, Hill actually provides actionable steps to where you can identify your own. And it's different for everybody. And I think the book, especially here in the introduction, it masterfully lays that out for you.
Mhm. Yeah, so in introduction, we first time see this introduction of the burning desire. So, what means burning desire? It means that you want something more than anything else, like something that even why it is burning. It is called burning because you even feel the that feeling, like a burning feeling in your gut. Yeah, like you can feel it with your body that you really want it. That's something that you just think, what if it happened? I would be so happy. I would be just like out of the roof. Yes.
Right.
So
And
this
sometimes you
is
don't even know why you want that. You just want it and it's in you. The book is saying that's not necessarily a bad thing. That's a motivator. Once you found your motivator, you understand what fuels success. And it doesn't matter if your burning desire is something ridiculous. It,
yeah.
it,
Mhm.
if it motivates you, learn how to harness that, learn how to use that because that's fuel. And people, places, animals, cars, airplanes, nothing works without fuel.
Mhm. Yes, and the burning desire gives that energy, as you said, Paul. Yes, that it is fuel which will propel us to success if we use it in a proper way, if we know how to use that. And it doesn't make anything with logic. Yes, because in that way, when you say, like, feel what you really want, it may feel, it may look like totally illogical. And in this moment, it is so important to learn how to detach from your physical reality, from facts, and just start thinking from the end. What if it is possible? Yes, like to direct your mind. What if that would possible? How it would work? Yes, and get really excited about the possibility that it can work.
Right. Well, the concept that you're talking about and the differences about it, starting with that end in mind and having a goal, everyone is different. And I've worked with all sorts of different people doing goal setting, for example. And sometimes it depends where you live, what your experiences are, what you want. I mean, we were three people were in a sales office and all three of us were getting a large bonus. I mean, it was a bunch of money. At the time, it was like $6,000, which to me was a crap load of money. $6,000. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm listening to the other two sales reps. One guy is saying, "Oh man, $6,000, I can buy a watch." And I'm like, "Why would you spend $6,000 on a watch? You can
Mhm.
get one for $20. Why? That's dumb. That's why would you do that?" And the other guy's like, "I'm with you. That's crazy. You know what kind of gun you could buy with $6,000? Like a gun? I would imagine you could get 100 guns for $6,000. Why would you spend 6,000? That's insane." And I'm thinking, and I'm into photography. That's my hobby. I'm like, I could get this camera, and they're like, your cameras are cheap. They're not 6,000. Everybody has this deeper connection with goals. I know people
Mhm.
that spend, gosh, $10,000 a year on sporting event tickets, but they clearly don't go to the dentist. And I'm thinking the dentist is more important than the football games. Why is that your priority? But the point of the book is it doesn't matter. You found your priority. Good. You don't have to waste time figuring out what it is. What motivates you? Where do you find that strength and motivation? Because yeah, you can do anything you want to do, but you've got to have a burning desire at the base and you've got to use that desire to make the steps and be aware of the thoughts and you got to have faith. You got to believe that it's true. If you don't believe it, if you believe you can't do something and you believe you can do something, you're right both times. The thing hasn't changed. It's your faith and belief. And that is like, well, as far as the introduction goes, that's next, right? That's the thoughts are the things. There's a burning desire, but you've got to have faith and belief. You've got to know the role that believing it's possible is going to have, because your success is dependent on it. The desire alone, if you say, I want this, but I know I can never have it, the desire is not going to get you there. You've got to have the desire and you've got to have the faith.
Yeah, so let's just stop our first introduction here, and we will give a little homework for somebody who listening us between this episode and the next one. We would like you to think about your biggest desire. What really you want. Don't think about your current circumstances or experience in the past. Really think what would be that one thing that you want more of anything else, and start thinking about this. And when we will meet next time, we will go from there and we will speak more about the Barnes experience, how he achieved his burning desire, starting from nothing, having no evidence that it is possible, but how just by having right mind and knowing how to develop and impress that idea into subconscious mind, and how to make other people even believe that you can do it. So this what we will speak in our next episode.
Yeah, to add to that, I would just say try to get really specific about what it is, and don't limit it to a thing. Like I, my goal is to have this car or this thing. It could be more than that. It could be a relationship. It could be something happiness. But get specific. What is it that you want above anything else? And if you can't find that, keep looking, because that's important, because it's going to hold you back if you don't know what it is you have a burning desire for.
And another one thing, write it down. Okay, have it written, and this is where we will start our next episode from.
Awesome. I can't wait.
Me too.